What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back, and today we'll be doing our NFL power rankings for the divisional round of the playoffs. We got 8 teams left. San Francisco was the only one that pulled off the upset last week,
Yep.
so don't expect too much to change going into this week, but we are going to talk about what happened last week and whatnot. So we'll just get right into it here. Ethan, start it off.
Yeah, so probably the most entertaining game this week was the Bengals and the Raiders. Probably the only really close game so far that weekend. But Bengals definitely have the shot to go as far as they can make it because of their boys Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. The only thing is their defense has gotten a little banged up last week, and their offensive line didn't look too great against the Raiders. So that's why they're the 8th seed, the 8th number ranking. So they can be the Titans this week. You never know because we got our picks coming. So stay tuned for those. But yeah.
At 7, we got the 49ers. Pretty much won because they didn't blow it. It's like the double agent Jimmy G. First half, dominated, and then the second half kind of must have had money on Dallas or something because he was trying to get them to win in the second half. But this San Francisco team, they're going into Green Bay. They've owned Rodgers in the playoffs. They're 3-0 since Rodgers has been the quarterback. And, it's a scary matchup for Packer fans out there. But this Niners team, if Jimmy G could play a complete game, I really do think they could pull off the upset. But, it's always tough when the defense is a little banged up. Bosa is kind of a game time decision.
Same with Fred Warner as well.
Yeah.
He's also a game time decision.
Yep. And, their defense has been suspect as of late. That second half really just showed that Dallas just kind of got what they wanted after they made some adjustments. And, the Packers have beat the 49ers once this year in the regular season, week 3. So, looking for revenge there, but definitely could be the best game of the weekend. Maybe not the highest scoring one, but, most competitive game of the weekend.
And at number 6, we have the LA Rams. Really dominating performance over the Cardinals this week. Kind of what I expected, what we both expected picking the Rams. The offense has such a high ceiling. And, even the defense with all the superstars, Jalen Ramsey, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, their whole team is just loaded. Even Odell really coming into his own here with Stafford throwing the ball. But definitely they have the upside of any team in the playoffs, but they also have the downside that they showed that if they don't have the momentum, they can get scored on. And they really ran the ball well this week. So hopefully that can continue going into next week against the Bucs because they're going to need it.
And at 5, we got the Tennessee Titans. I really think, they could be higher. It just depends on how Derrick Henry performs this week, and if they win next week, we'll really move them up. But, I think he's going to be the big question mark. Not even just him, the whole offense. They've been very inconsistent this year, but the one thing that has been consistent is the backup running backs being a really good committee and getting the job done. Tannehill, mediocre quarterback at best this year, and he's kind of survived through the defense. Bud Dupree, huge signing from Pittsburgh, has really came into his own this year. Kevin Byard, all pro, only I think all pro on this team this year. And the defense has really been carrying the load, but I think, Bengals, if they can come in there, put up, I'd say 24 or more, I think they might walk out of here with a W. But, it just all depends on how much they're going to really give Derrick Henry the ball as well.
Yep. And at number 4, we got the Bills. Probably the most impressive win on any team because they did it against Bill Belichick. And I know a lot of people thought freezing weather, 0 degrees, Patriots might have the edge, but Josh Allen really shut that down early, getting the ball and scoring in each of their 7 drives, which is really impressive. The Bills offense is the type of team that has, I think, probably the highest upside besides the Chiefs. So they're going up against the Chiefs this week. Obviously, they have a shot being one of the best teams. They did beat them earlier in the season as well. So, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything for our picks, but Bills are a very scary team going down in the stretch here.
And at 3, We got the Tampa Bay Bucks. Big win last week. I was at the game. The momentum pretty much shifted immediately after the Bucks went down, scored a touchdown, first possession of the game, and after that, it was Philly didn't even have a shot. 17-0 at half. They got the ball, they punted. Tampa got the ball, they punted, and then Rager muffs the punt that leads to a Brady touchdown, and that's when it was pretty much over at that point.
Yeah. Also at the half, Jalen Hurts did not have a very good first half, but they were finally getting some momentum. And all they had to do, I feel like they were driving. They could have at least kicked a field goal there at the end of the half. But instead, Jalen Hurts tries to do too much, throws an interception, and then the Bucs get the ball to start the second half, already up 17-0. So I feel like that's where it really hurt the Eagles in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what's going to be most intriguing this week is once again the run game. Is Fournette and Rojo, are they going to be back this week? Is the big question mark, I think, surrounding Bucs. Because we know
they got Le'Veon Bell, man. They don't need those guys.
Yeah, they got Le'Veon. That's true. He might get a free ring this year. But, obviously Mike Evans, probably top 5 receiver in the league, and no one's going to really acknowledge that because, he's on the Bucs, and it seems like he does it every year. And I really like this Bucs team. I think they might get past the Rams pretty easily. But then again, if the Rams can run the ball, it could go either way. So this Bucs team at 3rd, I think it's only fair to put them there. As they're 14-4, and they deserve to be here.
And at number 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, kind of a fluke game beating the Steelers this week. Nah, I'm just messing around. But
bye.
I bet you guys got nervous there when TJ Watt scored that touchdown in the first quarter. But anyway, the same type of thing with the Chiefs as what the Eagles. The Eagles came down and couldn't score, but the Chiefs got the ball. They scored before the second, like right before the half, and then they got the ball back and they scored. I think that's where it really ended the game. I mean, Steelers didn't have much of a chance, if we're being honest. Chiefs have too many weapons. Definitely cleaned it up there with Mahomes. Just went absolutely bonkers against us. So, great game against the Bills this week. Going to be one of the most entertaining ones, and it's going to be exciting.
And at number 1, we got my Packers. I think, the most complete team in football. The only thing that worries me is special teams. And, you're facing Deebo Samuel, so he could return a kick anytime. So I would stay away from him in the punt game at least. And, Rodgers, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Devontae Adams, those 4 are going to be the whole offense, I think, for the Packers here. They're not going to do too much special on offense, stick to the throw to Devontae 15 times a game. And the other guys will get involved for maybe 10 catches or something. But I think if they can get past the 49ers here, they're going to get over that. They're going to, get the stepping stone. Because it seems like there's always one game a year in the playoffs that you need to win. And then that really, eases you up and you have a good shot to win it all. And for the Packers, it's this one, if they can win this, they have lost to the Niners in the NFC Championship 2 years ago, lost to the Bucs last year in the NFC Championship at home. So if they win this, get back to the NFC Championship for the 3rd year in a row, 3rd time's a charm, right? So hopefully it goes good for them, but we'll see. But definitely should be a great game Saturday night. And I think the unsung hero of this defense has been all the cornerbacks play, not just one specifically, but all of them, because last year they fell suspect to giving up the deep ball and just kind of getting burnt all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, they're kind of limiting even their top receivers, not their superstar games. So defense has really stepped up this year. And Rodgers, either is the MVP or he just lost it barely. So another great year from him. And I think this Packers team, could be in for a magical run if everything falls their way.
Yeah, and that'll do it for today's video. Stay tuned for our picks video coming very soon before this week. There's a lot of games this weekend, so stay tuned to us. We're going to be covering it all. But until then, Bench Buddies are out. Peace.